What's good, faves? It's your fave, Miss Renee. You guys, I am here. Not for long, but I'm here. I decided that before I go to bed, I wanted to go ahead and make our first video that is included with the challenge, right? Because as of yet, we don't have any challenge videos uploaded. So, had to do some work before I wash my face off and go to bed. My voice is a little tired because been talking all day in class, inspiring, I hope, a bunch of young people who I hope will also be with us tomorrow on this live stream for the first time. It's the first one of its kind. It won't be the last, but it is indeed the first. So I'm excited. Might be in my nerves a little bit too, y'all. So make sure you send up a prayer for Fav Ms, Renee, right? But I did have a story that I thought was a important story to share. And then also, while we're doing this 100 Days to Christmas challenge, I want to make sure that I'm feeding you well. Still good food, y'all. Still good food. And I want to make sure that the nourishment is right on time. As we are closing out a year, right? 2021 is coming to an end. And rather quickly. I'm just saying, it's flying. So I want to make sure that we are not just saying that we're ready and getting in position, but that we are ready to receive what we are manifesting and what we are asking God for, right? So I want to share this video with you. Some of you will relate to this video because you might say, wow, that's kind of where I am or where I've been. And just know that it was a journey, but I made it. Okay, faves, here we go. So a little story time tonight. As I said, we are about to start. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and we're going to begin October the 6th, 2021. We're going to begin manifestations, our time together. It's Wish on It Wednesday. I am excited for all of us. I really am. But I wanted to share tonight a story about a time that I was still yet seeking the Lord in regards to forgiveness. And I want to share this with you. As you know, we've been talking a lot about forgiveness on our regular Good Food for Your Soul videos. And the reason for that is, we are about to start this whole new journey, you guys, of manifesting mindfulness and meditation. But also with this journey, we have to make sure that we are in position and in alignment for the things that we most want from God. It doesn't do us any good to say, oh, I want to do this. Oh, and I want to do that, and jump the line and move forward. And then when you get at the top of the line, only to find out that you got to go back because those things that you jumped, those people, those places, those whatever it is that you moved ahead of, in front of, before you were ready, those were actual important steps that you needed to take in order to proceed forward. So it doesn't make any sense to skip and move and fast forward. What has to happen is order. Things have to be done in order, and you have to be in alignment. And God has to know you're ready for the things you are seeking and asking Him for. So I figured I would share a story with you, a time that I was seeking God and a time that I was trying to also move forward, but I wasn't ready yet. So my story is, I think I was in my mid-40s. I am now almost in my mid-50s. So we're talking about a good 10 years ago. So I was about in my mid-40s, you guys, and I had stayed home from work. I stayed home from work that day. I can't remember why. I don't know if it was the weather. I don't know if I wasn't feeling well. I'm not really sure why, but I was at home. And I remember the morning started off pretty well. No hiccups, no issues, none of that. But for some reason, God was tugging and pulling at me. And I knew I needed to spend some time with God. So I did just that. I purposely didn't turn on the television. I purposely didn't turn on any music. I purposely did not get on the phone. But I, on purpose, got on my knees to pray. And you guys, it felt like, looking back, it felt like I prayed for hours. Hours. Now, I'm not really sure about the time, but I know that I stayed in deep prayer for quite some time. And when I came out of that prayer, instantly I heard the voice of God, the Holy Spirit, speak to me and say, "You've got 3 people you need to forgive." And it was just this weird, you know, once you start building relationship with God, and I have talked about instincts before. So your instinct and the voice of God, right? The Spirit of the Lord, when you feel moved, it's it's a for certain, you know. I can't really put words to how it makes me feel, but I knew that I was being instructed, that I had 3 people that I needed to forgive. And here's the thing. I was transitioning. Now that I look back, I was transitioning. I was moving from teaching aerobics full time to now, and teaching aerobics was like coaching. You know, it's like being a life coach. Not only was I in charge of helping these women get into shape, but it was a lot of spiritual and mental and emotional healing that went on during my aerobic classes for years. So I was transitioning from working with just women to working with young people. And what I feel now is that the young Renee on the inside was still hurting and she needed healing. And so that day that I spent praying and fasting was answering a situation that was deep rooted on the inside of me. And God was about to pluck that last annoying hair. So, what happened was, I felt the Lord say to me, or I felt the feeling that these 3 people I was still holding on to some unforgiveness towards. And the 2 people I understood. 2 people I and agree. Yeah, you're right, God. I need to get over that. I need to forgive that. I need to move on. But that 3rd person, I just didn't agree with. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I didn't agree with that 3rd person was because I felt like I had already forgiven them. That 3rd person, you guys, was my mom. Yeah, my mother. Although I had a very rough upbringing, my childhood with my mom was, most of you know, not a cookie cutter experience. And I was faced with a lot of hurt. And some of that led to resentment, I must admit. Also, a lot of harboring bad feelings. Okay? Just being honest. So, when I was younger, that was the case. But in my 40s, I felt like that had all been forgiven. Not that it had been forgotten, but clearly I wasn't holding on to grudges and being angry about something that happened to me when I was a little girl. I just didn't believe it. Well, then God confirmed it and said, and you guys have to understand, again, when you have a relationship with God, you have an internal hearing from the Lord. So I felt internally the voice of God saying to me, you never hug her. If I question God, saying, God, you know what? I just don't think you're right about that one. I think I have. And God simply said, but you don't hug her. And this is me thinking, I hug her. I mean, you gotta understand, I wasn't mad at my mom to the point where I didn't see her. I was seeing her quite often. I mean, I was cutting her hair, coloring her hair, visiting her home. She was visiting my home. I would make dinner for her, take her dinner, buy her things. So I couldn't really grasp why God was saying I had not forgiven her. And then I was searching my mind because clearly I see her enough that I know I've hugged her. But I couldn't remember a time. I could not remember one time that I had hugged my mother. I couldn't. And I thought long and hard on it. So now, the next day came and I was talking to my best friend. You guys are going to meet her very, very soon. Definitely in February for sure, but soon. And I was talking to her on the phone, and I was quite upset. Excuse me. I was quite upset, you guys, because I was working with children. I was teaching children about the importance of forgiveness. I was teaching children life skills, self-esteem, building confidence, right? Learning how to let go of things. And here I am, a hypocrite. That's immediately what I felt like, a hypocrite. So this next day, I'm talking to my best friend on the phone, and I started crying. I got very emotional. I was crying because I felt, I felt like a hypocrite. And I felt like I was not authentic. And I felt like, how can I teach someone anything if I'm still harboring and holding on to these grudges and bad feelings towards my mom? And crying on the phone, y'all, let me tell you, I wasn't just tears falling. I was boo-hoo. Crying, okay? So my friend is now trying to console me over the phone. And I was just literally having a whole breakdown, meltdown, breakdown, whatever. I was crying, my eyes out, couldn't stop. And while I was on the phone with her, this is how you know things just start changing and everything is orchestrated by God. Because while I was crying and having this whole meltdown, and I mean, crying, I decided, or I remembered while I was crying, talking to my best friend on the phone, I remembered that I needed to clean the seats in my car. At that time, oh, my earring just fell out. Sorry about that. At that time, my car seats were dirty. And I knew that I had said I was going to clean them out. Well, I guess now's a good time while I'm on the phone crying to my best friend. I don't know. But that's what I did. I got me a bucket. I put some water in the bucket. I got a scrub brush and I got some cleanser, something I could cleaner. I went outside, You guys, I got those seats good and saturated with that cleaner. And then I got my wet scrub brush and I started scrubbing these seats. Mind you, I'm scrubbing the seats, but I have not stopped crying. I did not pause that cry. Not one bit. I was still crying. Because I was deeply hurt and disappointed in myself. And I'm crying, and my friend, my sister, is consoling me and telling me, Renee, it's okay. We all have those experiences, and a lot of us are still processing through, and you'll be fine. Don't worry, you'll be fine. And I was like, but I'm already in a position that I should have already been fine. And how am I going to teach to anybody about getting over anything? And I have not yet gotten over stuff that happened to me 20 years ago. What is this? Why am I going through this? And so I was outside in the car, scrubbing the seats, crying on the phone to my friend, to my sister. And my mom pulls up on the side of my car. And I looked up to see my mother looking at me through my window. And my mother said, "There's my firstborn." And I talking to Shauna on the phone, and I said, "You're not going to believe this, but Mama just pulled up on the side of my car." And Shauna said, "Ooh, that's spooky. Hang up." So we did. We hung up. And I looked at my mother, and I'm thinking, this is weird. And I said, "Mama, would you pull over, please? Just pull over." Lord have mercy. And now, in the car, I'm in the back seat of my car cleaning out my seats, was talking to my best friend, crying about a situation between me and my mother. And then my mother pulls up on the side of my car. So yeah, I got out of the back seat of my car. And as I was getting out of the back seat of my car, I felt the enemy say, "What are you doing? This is stupid. What are you going to say? She's not even going to know what you're talking about." And so I got up to my mother's car, and I'm standing at her driver's side door, okay? She's in the driver's side, and I'm just looking down at her, and now she can see that I'm crying. And she goes, "What's wrong?" And you know what? I didn't know what to say, and I said, I'm just going to say it, and I said, "Mom, I need to forgive you." And my mother looked at me and said, "For what? I haven't done anything." And then I went, oh my God, this is going to be awful. And then I looked at her and I said, "I don't need to forgive you from today or yesterday. I need to forgive you, Mama, from when I was 7, when I was 10, when I was 13, 15. And when I was saying these numbers and ages to my mom, my mother instantly validated that with a bowed head. She just bowed her head. That little girl in me went, oh my, it was real. I do need to forgive you. And then my mother said to me, "I knew you never forgave me because you never hugged me." And again, I was just amazed at God And I said, oh my God. And then my mom got out of her car and we hugged. Yeah, we hugged. And that was the first time that I ever remember a hug. And it was the best hug. That day, I completely forgave my mom for everything that ever happened when I was a child. And then after, when I was an adult. I simply let it go. And I moved on. And guess what? So can you. So can you. So listen, it's much later than I thought it was going to be. I'm tired. Ain't you tired? I'm exhausted. But I do have to do this before I go. I've got to give you the key word for our first video for our 100-day till Christmas challenge. So the first word is abundance. Okay? Now you go ahead and follow those instructions. DM me on Instagram and tell me what that word is. And I'm putting your name in the bucket. See you tomorrow. Oh, don't forget, right here, 7 o'clock, live stream, manifesting time, y'all. Wish on it Wednesdays, 7 o'clock. Good night.